Selling something online? If so, be aware of scammers who are always on the lookout for naive or vulnerable parties. A SNN Local News 6 employee recently put up an item for sale on Craigslist and within days was one step away from losing out on over $1,000. SNN Local News 6 reporter Jim Spiewak has more on the scam, how it works, and what to look out for.
Well, Mia, the scam is simple, but there are red flags. A lot of it is common sense, but always be careful when selling items online. 5 days ago, a legitimate ad went up on Craigslist to sell an antique sewing machine for $150. Within 4 days, the seller had a check in hand for $1,500.
Answering ads on Craigslist and saying, okay, I'm going to buy your product, I'm going to send you a check for it, and then you get the check and it's usually for 5-6 times what you're supposed to be getting paid for it.
But the transaction is only getting started. With all communication via email, the buyer asks the seller to deposit the check, keep the $150 as payment for the item, and immediately Western Union the difference, in this case, $1,350 back to the buyer. The scammers want you to believe the $1,500 check they sent will cash, but it won't. Through the years, Jack Carter of the Sarasota Police Department has seen hundreds of these cases. He says it's simple for anyone to produce what is called a VersaCheck with software available at any office supply store.
Transaction number, all right, MCTN from Western Union, all right. All you have to have is that. Even though it's going to someplace else, if you walk in someplace and you've got that, you can get that check anywhere.
Banking officials say that if you ever receive what appears to be a certified check from a big banking institution when selling an item on a site like Craigslist, to look out for warning signs.
If someone is in a foreign country, that's a red flag. If the amount of the check or the wire is for more than what the transaction calls for, because that means they're looking for money back from you. Any kind of discrepancy or anything that looks inaccurate on the check is also a red flag.
Carter says many of these scams derive from gangs in third world countries, and to them, it's all about high volume.
We've seen the volume as many as 100,000 of these things go out, and so if you get 1%, you know, and you're always going to get the 1%.
Officials recommend if you sell an item online, sell to someone you can meet in person, and remember, cash is king. If you ever receive one of these checks, verify that it is real before you deposit it. Your bank will be able to tell you if in fact it is real. And always remember, if it sounds or looks too good to be true, it probably is.
All right, Jim, thank you very much.